I say big up and welcome back to the channel. Click and like, share. Respect to all my subscribers then. I be things are going on in the trucking industry right now. So here what me I gonna tell you upon the one. I'm gonna listen carefully. Yeah me no man. Everything in a trucking at the foreigner get the blame. As a Quinty Yankee them call up foreigner name. Everything body in a trucking at the foreigner get the blame. As a Quinty Yankee them call up foreigner name. As a truck get licked, foreigner do it. As a scale get black, foreigner do that. Yankee can't get rate. Say we life at stake. Alright, guys. Me know me could make it in the music business, so that's why I'm in a trucking. And Leroy nobody call. Me know say me no bad. Alright, big up. Welcome back everybody. So, as I see the title, are foreign truck drivers the reason why the trucking industry fail? So, what you think? I'm going to tell you now what me think. Well, you know, a series of things have happened for the past couple of months. And as a matter of fact, from me coming out of the trucking business, the narrative out there is that foreigners mess up the trucking industry. That is what the American truck drivers are saying. Them say foreigners, people like me, mess up the thing. Most recently, a foreigner on I-95 down there in Port St. Lucie County, Florida. Him do a horrible thing, you know. He attempt to make a U-turn in the middle of the interstate, and as a result, it caused the life of 3 Americans. And condolences to the families and friends of the persons who unfortunately passed away. Now, me can't support a thing like that, you know, because from you come to United States, you decide to go in a trucking. You hear this from your trainers, you hear that from your employers. You know, do U-turns on roadways and much less major thoroughfares like the interstate. And on top of that, there was a big sign there, you know. So trust me, that wasn't a good thing, and my heart goes out again to the friends and families of the persons who lost their life. But at the end of it, people tend to say one bad apple spoil the whole bunch. But I don't agree with that. One bad apple can't spoil the whole bunch. You take out the bad apple, man, and you throw away, man, and you preserve what is left. That is how I look at things. You know, and every foreigner come up here where I drive truck, do things like that, are behaving at them kind of careless and irresponsible fashion. Because I am a foreigner and I'm here legally. Right? I'm here legally. And if you notice, I do YouTube videos, and one of my earlier videos was about being safe out there on the road. And I'm from Jamaica, and I know a lot of Jamaican truck drivers who have had long, unblemished careers. You understand? And there are other persons from other countries who have been here for years as well and doing well and following the rules. So the thing about, you know, whitewashing the whole foreign truck drivers, boy, it's not nice, you know. And you see the foreigners out there who driving and not following the rules and the regulations and the best practices. Please, you know, me appeal to you guys out there. You know yourself. Stop it, because you know the actions of a few can affect a large quantity, a large mass. You know? So me come here for those perform a task and eventually go back home. Try long and short I too, you know. American truck drivers don't want us foreigners here. And the more and more you guys out there who are foreigners and run afoul of the law and mess up and do wrong things, they are going to end up running us home. We're going to have to leave. So we have to take heed. A famous saying, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. Simply put. You leave your yard, you leave your country, and you come to the people in place, abide by them rules and regulation and them best practices. That is what me I try to. Right? Yeah, everybody can make mistakes and accidents do happen. But that what happened down at I-95 is not an accident. It's a direct disregard to the road traffic laws. Right? All in all, I don't believe is foreigners. I don't believe that foreign truck drivers or even, let's say, foreigners who run trucking company. That is another issue. But let's deal with foreign truck drivers. I don't believe that foreign truck drivers are the cause or the reason why the trucking industry has spiraled down the road. No, I don't believe that. Why I don't believe that? 80%, 80% of truck drivers out there are American truck drivers. And from what I understand, about 60% of that figure are white Americans, and another 20% are black and Latino. You know, between black and Latino. I would put that at 25%. Black and Latino. Right. Yeah. 25%. And those are, I'm talking, American born citizens. So therefore, that leaves 15% of us who are foreigners in the trucking industry. So 15% represents 525,000 foreign truck drivers. So ask yourself, how much of that figure would represent drivers that are not fit to be out there on the road? Can't be more than about 100,000. So is it fair to say 100,000 truck drivers is destroying an industry made up of 3.4 million other truck drivers? That don't add up. That figure that don't add up. And them say numbers don't lie. You know what I think? The problem is the mega carriers. The mega carriers are the ones that are driving down the freight rates. The mega carriers, they can afford to hire cheap labor. Remember, the mega carriers, they buy tires, spare parts, fuel, you name it. They buy that in large quantities, right? So they can afford to run the freight cheaply. So they are the ones that are driving down the rates and making things difficult for you, the American owner operators. Now, we can't deny that there are foreigners that come in and set up fly-by-night trucking companies, and they import their cheap labor. They carry their countrymen and they pay them cheaply. They run them to the ground. They violate ELD mandates and so on. And they go around the DOT rules and regulations. Yes, that happens, and that makes the road unsafe. But also, again, who will you blame for all of that? What's the root cause of all of that? How did these foreigners come in and get the authority to set up these overnight companies, these unsafe companies? And from what I understand, there are inspections and there are checks and balances supposed to be in place. So who would you blame for not doing their jobs? Ask yourself that. Insurance is another thing. The insurance companies want to collect the premiums, but they don't want to pay out. So they keep raising the premiums and raising the premiums. And only the mega carriers can afford to pay those kind of insurance premiums. And the mega carriers can afford to buy the different gadgets and cameras and all of these things that the insurance companies want them to use in order for drivers to be safe. Alright, so that's another thing. What about the cost of repairs? Look at what it costs to repair a truck. $250 to $350 an hour in order to repair your truck. Whether it's broken down on the side of the road or you take it to a shop. it caused an arm and a leg to repair a truck. That does not have anything to do with a foreign truck driver. So, in closing, I will say to all the foreigners who are up here driving, you're given the privilege to be in the United States driving a tractor trailer. Be safe out there, follow the laws, follow the rules and best practices, and be safe when you drive and arrive alive. We'll talk again.